And we are live. Yesterday we had so many challenges trying to go live. I think I tried 3 times yesterday, but the weather wasn't cooperating, the Wi-Fi wasn't cooperating. But we're here today. Let me go ahead and turn down my phone so we don't get any of that constant dinging from the notifications. I think we're good. Today's live is a little different. I'll get to that in a minute. But today is what? Sunday. Last week I did a 3-day fast, which started on Monday, which was June 1st. And I ended it, I believe, well, the 3-day water fast ended on Wednesday night at 10 o'clock. It started at midnight on early Monday morning. Hi, Karma. How's the shopping? It ended on Wednesday night around 10 o'clock. And that was 3 days of water fasting. But I continued it a little bit. Thursday, I just had like really watered down soup. And then Friday had also like really thin soup, because after 3 days of a water fast, you don't want to jump into eating very heavy stuff, because that could do so much damage to your stomach. So for every 3 days of a water fast that you do, you should do 1 day of recovery, meaning that you just eat very, very thin, drink very, very thin soups or drink smoothies to kind of get your stomach used to receiving foods again. So last night was my first real meal since my fast started last Monday. And that was, I made some sweet potato bread yesterday. Actually 3 ingredients: sweet potatoes, some quinoa flour, and a little bit of salt. And then after, I got it all made, when I was making it in the frying pan, I sprinkled a little bit of pumpkin spice on there. I'm sure they didn't do that back in those days, but I decided that's what I wanted to do. So last night I had some of that bread, and then some soup, but a little thicker soup, the vegetable soup. And then I also had some baked plantain. So that was my first meal in a week. So for those of you who actually did the fast with me, I know some of you did like a 1-day fast. Some of you actually did the 3 days. So I'd love to hear from you to see how did you find it, or did you have to like supplement with maybe a smoothie here and there. I know that a 3-day water fast is not for everyone. It is challenging even for a veteran like myself, who's been doing it for a long time, and I'm used to fasting. That second day is always really, really challenging, and you get to a point where you just want some food, but once you get over that hump of the second day, then it becomes a lot easier. So I'd love to hear from you if you actually did part of the whole fast or even a part of it. So today what I wanted to talk about was lotus seed, as you can see in the title. My sister Rhonda recently got me some lotus seeds, and the minute I looked at them, let me grab one real quick. This is what they look like. Actually got quite a few. And I think actually this is only 1 bag. There's a second bag in there. But the minute I looked at it, I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to need a little bit of help. It is extremely hard. The shell on this is extremely hard. So when I touched it, I said, this is probably going to be one of those seeds that needs to be scraped or helped somehow in order for it to grow. And so, sure enough, it was. After I did a little bit of research, I found out that there is some work that I had to do on the seed itself before I actually got it into some water to get it ready for some growth. Now, if you've been on my lupus page for a while, you know that I am fascinated by the lotus flower. I have a quote that says, be the lotus, rise through the mud. And I started using that since I started my journey with lupus, what, 8, 9 years ago, because I was always fascinated by the lotus flower. And if you know the story of the lotus flower, it starts in really, really muddy conditions, really dirty origins. But as the flower pushes through all of that mud, through all of that water, it emerges completely clean, completely beautiful, with not a speck of mud on there. And that was the story that really fascinated me throughout my journey with lupus, that lupus can cause all of these symptoms, and it just a lot of really tough issues that we have to go through whenever you've been diagnosed with lupus, right? And the lupus journey itself is just really, really hard. So that for me was my mud, was just all of that lupus journey that I had to go through to get to where I am today, which is basically my emergence out of chronic illness and out of all of the pain that I went through when I had to deal with all of the symptoms from lupus, right? So the lotus flower holds that kind of symbolism for me. So you hear me talk about the lotus flower a lot, and you hear me say, "Be the lotus, rise from the mud." So for the mud, for me, was the lupus journey. The mud for you could be something else, right? So whatever your mud is, that's what the symbolism for the lotus flower is for me. You're pushing your way through all of that mud, all of that grime, and rising up and opening up, and there's not a bit of that mud left on you, and you're just opening up, pure and clean. So that's what I get from the lotus flower. But the lotus seed actually gave me a few lessons as well, because, like I said, the lotus seed is one of those that really needed a little bit of help. And this is a seed that I haven't started to process yet. This is what it looks like completely naturally. But I had to get a grater. And what you do is you either grate it or you sand it down until you see if I can get it to focus there. See that little white? That's after it's been sanded or grated down till you see a little bit of that white showing through, which is the core of the lotus seed. So once you see that, then it's fine to stop. And by doing so, it allows the seed to absorb the moisture a lot quicker, and then allows it to start growing a lot faster. And I'm going to show you an experiment that I've been doing over the last few days. I posted a picture yesterday of what the lotus seed looked like yesterday, the one that's growing currently. And what I'm going to do is show you what it looks like today. And in one day, 24 hours, it has grown another 2 inches. So you can see just how much faster. But let me go ahead and grab the one that I have here. After it's and I did a little bit of an experiment. I put 2 in. I put in 4 seeds in here. There are 2 seeds that I did not do any kind of processing. I didn't scrape it, didn't grate it or anything. I just put them in as naturally as they came. Hi, Crystal. It's good to see you. And then there are 2 lotus seeds that I processed by scraping it down. And you can see those ones have already started to grow. Here's one. And then here is another. Now this one, I believe, lost a piece because it was outside and we had a lot of rain. So I think the rain kind of beat it down and it lost a little piece off of the top. But you can see that the other 2, which I did not process, they haven't broken through just yet. It doesn't mean that they won't. It'll just take a little bit longer. Right, but you can see this one here was only about to here yesterday, and it's grown another 2 inches literally overnight. And it's going to continue growing, and then eventually I'll have to get a container and make some mix some sand with some soil to create the perfect muddy conditions that the seed is going to need to receive its nutrients from, to be able to give out more leaves and eventually give out a lotus flower, right? So let me go ahead and set that down before I spill that. So as I was thinking about that, I thought this is so applicable to all of us that sometimes we all need a little bit of grinding down, a little bit of, stuff to be removed from us in order for us to be able to grow. Once we're placed into the perfect, environment, the perfect conditions, we're able to grow. So sometimes we all need to have some of that fluff and whatever else that we're dealing with, some negative environments, maybe toxic people. Once we have things removed from us that need to be removed, then it makes us ripe for growth, right? For our own personal growth and development. So this is the one that has been scraped and grated, so you can see that little white spot in there. The other side, it's only one side that's been done, so you can see the other side is the same. This is the side that's been worked on, right? And here is the one that doesn't have any processing. And if I put this in water as it is, it's going to take a very long time. So I'm going to keep an eye on the ones that I have in there that haven't been processed, just to see how long they actually take to grow in their natural, when they're in the natural state like this. So I made some notes. Let me go ahead and grab them real quick, because I don't want to forget what I wrote down, because these thoughts kept popping into my head, and I thought, if you know me, nature, I learn a lot from nature. I am always out, I love to walk around trees, and hello Marlo, and I've learned so much just from interacting with nature, and if we're still long enough, we can get so many different lessons just from being among nature. And that's why, people call me a nature freak or a tree freak, and because I have this thing about trees. I love to admire just the way that they form, their branches, their canopy. There's just certain things about nature that nature just appeals to me. And I've learned so many lessons from trees, and I've written so many different articles. I can share some of them with you. Lessons I've learned from trees, lessons I've learned from roses, lessons I've learned from the resurrection plant or the Jericho plant, depending on what you know it as. It's because I allow myself to interact with nature, and I allow nature to teach me, because I think we can learn so much from nature regarding stuff that's happening right now, regarding things that we need to know. So when I saw this, and when I realized that I have to, because the first thing that I said to myself and I said to my sister when I saw these seeds was, that's going to be a tough nut to crack. And immediately it was like, kind of like us sometimes, sometimes we're just bullheaded, and we kind of need a little bit of help to be able to see things from a different perspective. So once we are, process just a little bit of, we're allow ourselves to kind of take that same situation and kind of twist it around and think about it in a different way, that's where the growth really happens. So you can see the one that's been processed here. So I allow myself to learn lessons from nature, and if you really begin to interact with nature a little bit more, there's just so much that nature can teach us, just so much, even if it is literally from a little seed, right? Yeah, I was saying we're just kind of like the lotus seed, because sometimes we need a little bit of help chipping away at all of the stuff that might be holding us back from really growing into the person that we really need to become, right? Sometimes we need to kind of get rid of all of that fluff that's on us, and for everybody that dirt and grime might be different, right? For me, it was illness, because when you have a chronic illness, it does hold you back from you not able to play with your kids when they're outside. My kids were much younger then. I wasn't able to go and play with my kids. I wasn't able to go out with my friends. I would make plans to go out with my friends like on a weekend, but then when you have a flare up and you have to call and cancel, then all of a sudden, friends disappear, because when you do that a few times, they just kind of begin to think, well, I'm not going to invite Gina anymore because every time I invite her, she calls and cancels at the last minute, and then, because something always happens. So for me, that was my mud. Mud was the illness. Mud was all of the symptoms I had to deal with from the illness. So for you, all of your mud and the dirt and grime might be something completely different from what I had to go through, right? Like I said, I made notes. I have to refer back to them. So, but sometimes we kind of need a little bit of help whenever we're going through stuff like that. My team, I did have a team of doctors, and I still do. At the time, my team of doctors weren't the ones that were going to help me to break through to become the person that I really wanted to become, which was completely healthy. My team of doctors at the time were basically just kind of managing symptoms, right? And I didn't want to just manage symptoms. I wanted to be able to just get rid of the illness altogether. And that is why I found other people to join my team, people who knew what I wanted, people who had gone through what I had gone through and had managed to heal themselves. So I started to add together a team of people who had been in my position and had done what I wanted to do. I also found an herbalist because I didn't want to be on pharmaceuticals anymore. So I found someone who was knowledgeable in herbs and essential oils and all of the natural stuff, and got them to also help me to develop a protocol using herbs, essential oils, and other natural remedies to heal my body from lupus. And eventually I got to a point where I was able to become what I was looking for, because I eventually also got certified as an herbalist many years ago. I got certified in the use of essential oils and aromatherapy, and then most recently also got certified as a master herbalist. So, but does that mean that I gave up on my team? No, I didn't. I still go and see my herbalist from time to time, and I still have my team of doctors, even though it's a new team of doctors now, who understand what I want to be and understand what it took for me to get to where I am right now, right? So you do need a team. You do need the right kind of environment to be able to excel and to grow and to become the person that you're dreaming of becoming, right? If you are completely broke, you don't go to another broke person to get help from them, right? At least I hope you don't, unless that person used to be broke and then they're now wealthy, so they can teach you what you need to do in order to become wealthy or wealthier than you are in the broke position, right? And the same thing with being sick. You don't go to another sick person to find out how to become well. You go to somebody who has been there and is able to teach you the different steps to get to the health that you want to achieve, right? Like I said, I had all these thoughts going and I just kind of jotted them down. All right, so sometimes it takes a while. The person you're seeing sitting in front of you didn't get here overnight. My diagnosis occurred about 9 years ago, at least the lupus diagnosis. I had many diagnoses prior to that. I want to say about 6 leading up to the lupus diagnosis. So about 9 years ago, I got the lupus diagnosis. And then since then, it took about a year of just being sick and tired of being sick and tired. And so now about 8 years later, so in that 8-year time span, I went from being so sick to the point where I was using a walker and one of those motorized chairs when I had to go grocery shopping. I was bedridden. I had 2 near-death experiences. I could go on and on and on. But after starting, on the right protocol with the right people, joining the right team, meeting people who had been in my position, who had healed themselves, I gradually, and then doing all of the research myself as well and learning, I've gotten to where I am today. And that is, and I think I've shared this before, my blood work doesn't reveal any lupus presence at all, to the point where one of the rheumatologists said, you had to have been misdiagnosed because there's nobody who the lupus is incurable according to them. So there's no way that you could have cured lupus. But yet when they look at my very first blood work that confirmed it, and they compare it to my current blood work, they said, well, it's the same person, so you did something. They're not going to acknowledge curing, but I fully believe that's what I did. It was a journey. It was an 8-year journey to get to where I am today. But I can tell you that it can be done. And I can show you the steps that I did that led up to here. I can also tell you that there are certain things that I tried that did not work for me, and it's going to be the same thing for you. If health is what you're trying to achieve, you may not necessarily have a lupus diagnosis, right? You may just feel on a daily basis, and you don't know what that means. Check with your doctor. Make sure that there's nothing, no serious underlying conditions that's going on, and then go from there. You can reach out to me on this page. I think there's like a book now, and there's like a 30-minute free consultation. You can always reach out to me. We can do that 30 minutes, and I can, I get some feedback from you as far as what you're dealing with, and I can give you a few steps to get you started. But if you haven't seen a doctor and you're not sure what's going on, that would be my first suggestion to you, is to get checked out by your doctor first, to make sure that there isn't something more serious happening, and then we can move on from there. For those of you who know that you already have a chronic illness that you're dealing with, and you're looking for something more than just the pharmaceuticals, and you've been following this page for a while, chances are you know me. Some of you are connected with me outside of the, yes, we're connected in the lupus diagnosis arena, but we also became friends over time. So you know that that the person sitting in front of you, the kind of the journey that I've been through. So go ahead and reach out to me and see if I can help you. If I can't help you, I can guide you to people who can, because I don't know everything. I just know what has helped me on that 8-year journey, right? So I'll always be honest with you. If there's something I don't know, I will let you know that I don't know, but I will either try to find out for you, or I will send you to someone who may be able to help you a little bit better than I could. Over the 8 years, I made connections with lots of different naturopathic doctors. Most of them are online, but I've done enough research into them and done different summits over the years, and garnered a lot of information. So short of knowing them in person, I know them pretty well, so that if I don't know something, I can send you on to their site, and you can find a lot more information there as well. So like I said, if I don't know something, I will certainly try to find out, or I will find the people who can help you, right? Let me check so there is that the 30-minute free consultation. If you want to reach out to me and see how I can help you, see if you want to work with me, like I said, that 30 minutes is free, and I actually do give you steps that you can start to work on. And if you decide that you want to continue further, then you can reach out to me again as well. I do have a group called Lead Your Health, and in that group, it's a very small group. I go a lot more deeply into different topics and different things that I've worked with over the years to help me heal from lupus. I don't share a lot of this stuff on this regular platform, but if you do want to go a little bit deeper, then you can simply reach out and join the Lead Your Health group, and that link is on this page. So that's another thing if you want to kind of because I do a lot of meditation as well. I share a lot of different like essential oil blends. I talk a lot about different essential oils that I work with on a daily basis, different practices that I do on a daily basis. Sound therapy. A lot of people don't really know about the use of different frequencies to heal the body, because your body is it's electrical. And if you're not sure if that's true or not, all you have to do is stick your finger into a socket, and that will prove my point. So when you're using sound frequencies, can definitely also help, and I talk a lot about that in the group as well, because I understand that that is um, not a traditional modality used for healing, but it is one of them that I definitely work with, and I work with it on a daily basis. I go to sleep listening to certain frequencies, and I'm going to leave you with this one. Research 528 hertz, or look up all of the different solfeggio frequencies. That's SOLFFEGIOS. I can post that in the link so you have the spelling, but look up 528 hertz. Years ago, if you remember when there was an oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico, 528 hertz frequency was actually used to heal the ocean. And it is one that can also be used to heal the body. So if you've tried a lot, and I will always say this, diet is number one. You can't start to heal your body until you start to really examine what you are putting in your mouth. And I say that all the time. That was a huge part for me. Yes, there are certain things that I still eat. I am not perfect when it comes to the diet. I will not tell you that. I do like my chips, and I do like certain other things, but diet is a huge part of healing from anything. You heal inflammation. You can look at what you eat, and that will determine whether there's inflammation in your body or not. It's not to say that I don't wake up periodically and have stiff fingers, but when you examine your diet, that will be the first step to actually healing fully from any kind of illness or just from that blah feeling that you have. Because for me, the diet, your food can either be medicine or a slow form of poison. So if you're going to be eating for health, the first thing I tell everyone is to start to check your diet, start to keep a food journal, and start to really pay attention to how your body feels whenever you eat certain things. Jot it down in your food journal, and then every couple of weeks go back and examine what you've eaten, and then if there's something that you know didn't quite gel with you, then maybe remove that and add something else in. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop here because I know that I could go on and on and on, but I wanted to really come on and talk about this little lesson that I learned from the lotus seed. Number one, sometimes we do need to kind of remove stuff from us. We need a little bit of scraping down and some sanding, and that will kind of help us to really start to grow into the person that we need to be. Because when we try to do it by ourselves, sometimes we really don't know what we need. Sometimes we don't have all of the information that we need, so we have to kind of look toward to other people who have done what we want to do, right? And I'm going to show this again. Here's the lotus seed that I scraped. See how tall that one is, and then let me show you another one that hasn't broken through yet. Simply, it doesn't mean that it won't break through. It'll just take a little bit more time, because out in nature, if this was sitting out in nature, chances are it would break through, but not all of them do. But this one, I'm going to see just how long it takes in comparison to this particular one that has already broken through. So if you'd like to get a little bit of assistance just to get started, go ahead and reach out to me. I've had a lot of people send me direct messages, and in the group I also address a lot of the members in the group. I also address a lot of their concerns right there as well. But you can certainly just send me a direct message, and I will get back to you. I get back to people rather quickly, and then we can go from there. But I hope you've enjoyed this little lesson. I know it's not a huge thing. It's just a tiny little seed, but sometimes that's all we really need is just a little seed to be planted, and we can go from there. Here's the one that that was scraped down. So I'm going to go ahead and put this into a little bit of water and get that one growing as well. Let me know if you have any questions. You can just simply post them here in the comments, or you can send them to me privately if you don't want to ask them here as well. Just send it to the click message at the top where you see the message box, and I will get it and I'll respond as quickly as possible. All right. So if you have no further questions, I hope you enjoy, or if you have no questions for today, or right now, just go ahead and send them to me. That's fine, perfectly fine. If I come off and you still want to post a question, just simply post it below this video. You can also do that. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. It's actually stopped raining here. Last night we had this major storm, and it was loud at times, but I love the rain. I love the rain because then I know that everything is just going to be nice and green afterwards. And you know me, I just love everything about nature. So, all right, I really enjoy these few minutes with you, and I'm so glad that I got a chance to spend this with you, Crystal and Marlo, Karma, and anybody else. I know there was a few people who popped in and out, but thank you all for joining me, even if for just a few minutes, right? I will see you all again tomorrow's Monday. I'll post what time I'm coming on. Every day has been a little different depending on what is happening. So I hope that's okay with you, but I know that most of us haven't really gone back to work yet because of everything that is still happening in the world. All right. But enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and if I don't see you this week, the replays will be up. You can certainly come and watch them. If I don't see you this week, enjoy your week. Have a blessed one. Love you all.